Okay, friends, we're back, and oh boy, we've got a vehicle fire on I-80 on the same rough area as the Dutch fire. Come on, plug in. There we go with him.
1126.
1126.
Okay. Welcome back, friends. I just sat down.
Affirmative. We want engine 86 to respond in place as 84.
Copy 86, responding, switching.
I don't know if we'll see it on the cam, but I-80 in Crystal Springs is that a road? Hey, hola, J-Cat, you get the trophy. Welcome back. You're awesome. Okay, here you go. Here's the prize.
85.
You're first.
Fires are out for a commercial vehicle fire, I-80 West at Crystal Springs with threats to vegetation, and fires are out no further this time.
See, I sit down. It sounds major. They are dispatching a huge amount of engines to this vehicle fire, so let's find out where Crystal Springs and I-80 actually is. Welcome back, and thank you again, Mike,
2169.
for the pizza, friends. I hope that was entertaining. So, I-80 and Crystal Springs Road. Placer County?
160.
Or Nevada? That can't be right. That river. No. You failed.
93.
Cal Topo. I said California very clearly.
Engine 42 en route to staff, water tender 1293.
Transmitters are 2342.
Dozer 2342.
It's Placer.
86.
Engine 86.
No. California 80? Bingo. Okay, there is a vehicle on fire next to the Dutch fire. There's a huge response. And they had one engine that's coming from too far away, so
2185.
they just swapped
Engine
out.
2185.
Is that Crystal Springs Road?
2164.
Come on.
45 283 1039 classic tow.
I don't see Crystal Springs Road.
283 copy, thank you.
So
2164.
oh, okay, so here it's right here, next to the Dutch fire.
Responding. Singapore from CHP of a brake fire on a big rig per Dutch Helco. No smokers. Flame seen from the big rig that they can see. 2247.
Big rig tire fire or brake fire. Okay.
SL engine 2185, can you confirm TAGNet?
2185 affirmative will be CDF TAC 5.
Do we have
2185 cops.
a traffic cam? We will try to see. And here I thought we'd just have more fun. You see?
2164, second tone out. Commercial vehicle fire with that to vegetation westbound 80 Crystal Springs. 2248.
Westbound 80, so it's right here.
Neighbors told me that the uncle picked up the 6-year-old.
Okay, friends, welcome. Please hit the like button if you could. I know it's not that. It's not going to be that long of a stream, hopefully. Knock on wood. I just wanted to do a fire roundup for myself and see if I needed to check on anything else before I went to bed. I hope I helped the person looking for information about their loved ones at Dutch Flat. I forgot to say there was an injury there was, I think, an older gentleman, I don't know, but it was a male that slipped in his head, but it was a ambulance that was code 2. So that means get here fast and use your lights, but not serious enough for sirens. But it just occurred to me after I shut down the stream that if somebody is missing a male loved one, that they might want to check with the non-emergency number and see if who was taken to the hospital or where. You can call the non-emergency number for dispatch and then do a welfare check and say, I can't locate such and such person. I know that people were pretty much escorted out. I don't think anyone remained behind. I didn't hear any of that. Can't leave you alone for an hour. I have very weird luck, as you can see, Tom. So, California.
110. We diverted for a stop.
Alert West had it. I think they have traffic.
44 110. We're going to be Green Valley Road at Malcolm Dixon and 28 of 8 Sam Queen Yellow 799.
Okay, here's a couple of traffic cams. 80 at Dutch Flat, 80 at Crystal Springs, okay. Camera connection status is unknown. Oh. Wait, 22 is 10 o'clock. Okay, it's just 5 minutes ago. Can we time lapse it? Holy, we could do it for a traffic cam. All right, baby, let's go. Or it fails. 10 minutes? Tammy, Arizona Bear says, what state, please? Just tuned in. California.
Calfire, have any update?
I special request. We can look at others.
Negative.
Other states, Idaho, Wyoming, or whatever. Flavors Force, thank you so much. Thanks for all your help last year, Cougar Creek. You know what you guys can do is, are you a member, Flavors? And good to see you again. Let me get you your heart, and thank you so much, everybody who donated on the little
44
pizza.
110. Frank 355 3781. And we'll be code 4 out on FSD.
Code 4 means okay. So this is a traffic cam and may show this, I don't know what it's showing, but there's a big rig with the brakes overheating that stopped, and so they're rushing a ton of engines to it because there is threat to the vegetation. I was really hoping. If you guys hit the join button or follow this link and just join for $2, YouTube until the October 14th is matching $10. So it's hard if there's no join button.
22, fall 23, 415 physical A Adams 6.
There it is. It's also in the description of the vehicle. I'd be much obliged. It's so cool. And I also thank you for super chat.
Valley. Engine 2164 is responding, confirming illegal fire, and can you repeat the numerics?
Right next to it. It's on 80 right here. This is the vehicle.
64. This will be a report of a semi with a brake fire, westbound I-80, just west of Crystal Springs.
See? We have a traffic cam right there. Big rig.
Engine 2164 copies.
That's so scary. I mean,
The first unit at scene will be Crystal IC on CDF TAC 5.
first unit that gets there becomes incident commander.
Copy,
That's typical. Wow. I was watching 9/11 videos, during the September 11th anniversary thing, and
Confirm negative weapon. The subject is returning clear, showing some history of 23-152. Goes back to juvenile history.
yes, if you guys hit
Negative zeros on file.
Flavors Forest said, oh, yes, sorry, it takes me a while to, I had long COVID, and I just had a sinus infection. Of course I remember you now.
Cross traffic, so reported a semi with a brake fire westbound 80 west of Crystal Springs, no further at this point.
We should meet up. I'm going to California soon, probably on the 15th, that's the goal. And then I'll be returning to Oregon around November 2nd, something like that. I would love to stop by meet and greet on our way down south. It's not too far away off of I-5. Yeah, Flavors Forest, man. Yeah, I wanted to get in touch with you. Did you email me? Because I got to go through a lot. I'm backed up. It's been quite a crazy year. But yeah, was it Elkton, right? Elkton. I keep getting Elkton and the other Elktown in Oregon a little bit confused. Yeah, I remember. What a year. Oregon has taken a beating in the Cascades, but thank goodness the Coast Range, they caught everything. Otherwise, we could have had another Tillamook burn earlier. Now, I'm trying to get a bead. Maybe the other cameras might have. So far, the truck is not on fire yet. Did you just see Flavors Forest? I was Laura K. Jones when you were talking to me last year. And you did change it, though, and you told me about that. I remember.
Grass Valley, engine 2164. Can you confirm the cross street off of I-80 as Crystal Springs Road?
Yeah. Because...
Affirmative, the westbound 80 in Crystal Springs, just west of.
Last year's Cougar Fire. You guys were wonderful just giving us information. Here, I thought we were just going to wrap up tonight and do a summary and make sure that Idaho and Wyoming and stuff is okay. But this could suck really bad. If
Valley, water tender 1293 responding.
If this big rig explodes into fire just outside of the fire line, then everything they did today could be undone in the worst case scenario. But it's also kind of lucky that if you're going to have a semi-truck possible fire, it happens right next to a whole host of fire crews. So they'll probably pounce on it and it'll be nothing. Elkton and Elk City, I always get that confused. Yeah, you took photos of it for us and let us know. I'm doing a fundraiser so I can get a laptop so I can, like I would have at the time, driven down there to meet you and cover the fire myself because we couldn't get that much information.
Confirming the address is 627.
We've got a vehicle fire right here. Right here. That's like a smoking truck brake thing. Next to the Dutch fire, which is holding steady. And no, it's not 45 acres, it's 23. Watch Duty is incorrect because Watch Duty got the information from Calfire and Calfire is incorrect. That's the problem with using Calfire. That's why I tell people not to look at it. It's just so full of errors, and they correct their errors, but you don't know when. And they might get around to it a week later. But the actual Calfire page, I don't work.
The 5 is almost in front of it. It's on his right-hand side.
Logging at 37.
It's worthless. The Calfire page is worthless.
Valley, engine 2365.
JCat says it could be worse. Oh, Robin, yeah.
I've seen no smoke or flames visible from a semi-truck with no placards. It's going to be just east of the Baxter overpass. So we're going to be out on investigation.
Phew. Just east of Baxter overpass.
Safety cluster for cross traffic, fire just went on scene. No smoke or flames. And it's going to be just east of the Baxter overpass.
Let's see if that traffic cam is alive. Crystal Springs Road is it really show that traffic information on regular straight up Google Maps? I would think the Caltrans, nope, that's not the Caltrans. I think I closed that window. I have way too many tabs. Well, yeah, here's the Tillamook blimp hangar. Seaprobe went there today, but it said it was a 37-minute flight, and
Grass Valley engine 2365.
I don't have time to make it here. I don't have time to make it here before I go to California, but I promise
Continue one engine, code 2, we cancel the balance.
I'll show you that place, guys. Okay. Code 2 means lights, but no sirens, but get there fast. Code 3 is lights, sirens, and everything. Oh, God. Oh, my God.
To continue cancellation, use responding commercial vehicle fire westbound I-80 Crystal Springs, engine 2185 to continue in, code 2, balance to cancel, engine 2185.
Alright, gotta close.
2185.
That's inside the blimp hangar. Tell me.
2306.
Training 2306.
Okay.
Engine 2164.
Engine 2164.
Engine
Oh,
2652.
I'm sorry, Flavor. Here, take this link. Click that link. Does it
2169.
work?
2169.
Engine 2160. Engine 2160.
Engine 86.
You press the
36.
$ thing by chat as well. Hit memberships
1293.
and allow gift.
Water center 1293.
Yes, allow the gift.
Canceled. Incident number 29924, 29924, 2301.
Okay, let's look back and see. I mean, there is no fire, so there's no real rush to look at the Crystal Springs traffic. How is everything?
Fire, hot brakes only. We're available.
Well, Michael, anybody who actually spends the $2 instead of getting the gift, I want the people who can't afford it to get the gifts. Those who can, YouTube matches $10 and it caps out at $1,000. So not only if we meet our $1,000 goal, do I get 1,000, well, minus 30%, right? YouTube matches it with an additional 1,000 with no cut. And if we get anybody who signs up with the membership on their own, gifts don't count, I get $10. So, yeah, this is why I'm so frustrated. Does the link work? It's in the chat, and it's supposed to take you, like, if I put my link in the chat, so this is what's supposed to work, and it's in the description of my video. It's supposed to do this. It's supposed to take you here, and with the join button pop up. Did it do it? Oh, I would love to try your products. That would be wonderful in your little store. You know, we just did a pizza party, a test stream. Okay, what was Watch Duty wanting? And that was fun and enjoyable. And I have very expressive facial expression, people will say. So I've been told I should do reaction videos and try foods and, you know, that was a very fun dinner kind of thing. And absolutely, I'd love to promote your brand. You click the link, but it wanted me to add a new payment method. Yes, you have to pay. Do you, what? A new payment method? Seriously, YouTube, why are you making it hard? It did? You click join. Does it want you to add a payment method? It just says bye for me. Are you logged in? I mean, you just did a super chat, so it should be doing that to you. What? Okay, you see there's a caret right here? So that's my email. And so this is like a menu or whatever, and it says change payment method. Do you see this little triangle thingy? I think you can select the one you already have. Hey Pez, how are you? No, I didn't. I'm sorry. It was very hard to read everything because the camera, uh, when I was trying to go live from my own YouTube app on the the camera is right in front of me. The the phone. Ow, CPRO. I try my best. CPRO. Sorry, I'm listening to the radio still. Oh, that was maximum volume. Oh crap. Uh, I'm sorry. I did miss some stuff. So yeah, please tell me about what's going on. I could barely read it because he put his iPad away from the greasy pizza. So I was leaning forward and I could read the fine print, but I was also eating and trying to tell stories and distracted by people running around. What's happening? Lake Lure? And where is here? I think you can. Flavors, that's weird. That's so weird. What are you on? iPhone, iPad, or maybe we could troubleshoot this because that's frustrating me. Okay, I think the truck fire is a non-factor now, thank goodness. Yeah, when I clicked the link, I just make sure the radio is that that's an okay situation with the truck fire. iPhone, okay. Gosh, so annoying to tell people to get off their iPhone and like find a desktop computer. This should not be. YouTube is stringing me along saying, hey, you could make all this money. You only have 30 days since the day you turn it on. And we're going to make it hard for everybody with an iPhone or iPad to join. The thing is that Apple got mad, I guess, and they wanted to cut, and so they disabled the button for, but this link is supposed to bypass it. If you hit join, there should be a pop-up. I want to make sure that's a response to the truck. They're like, 911 has pursuit.
Stop. Bell and Old Airport. Trying to confirm if assistance is needed. Information only this time.
Okay, there may be another manhunt car chase.
Oh, 24. You
Well,
can't dash into that CPR call.
what I was trying to point out, can you see my cursor? It should be coming across.
Past that area, didn't see anybody.
Might crash. There's a small like menu. Like if you click on your own email associated with a payment method, that should have yeah, solar flares. Something fried us.
Edward 1 and Edward 2, 1010. Any mileage in the log. Have a good night.
Did the menu of selecting your payment method show up?
Information 1182, vehicle rollover, Auburn, Folsom, and Indian Hill. 2-33, status check.
Wow. Corporate greed and solar flares.
Standing by for another.
Okay, Spyman says the Elk Fire near Dayton. Welcome back, Spyman. Has
Yes,
exploded.
additional unit coming in.
It's 76,000 acres. Okay, we'll check on it. Yeah, Michael Jones says, I think it is because it wants people to sign
I
up
think we're
for
good with
recurring
just us.
payments. So you can cancel any time, but you have to confirm how you want to pay. Oh, okay. Can you poke around? Try the old school method, turn the phone
CM
off.
to the upper central attention CM2. They're advising no assistance needed for information. It's a blue Chevy occupied by 3. They're standing by for additional units. Code 3 to that location.
Okay, let's look at Lake Lure. I don't know what that is.
Westbound or eastbound side of Bell?
The situation? Oh, okay, gotcha. That's back east. Oh, you scared me. I thought it was a wildfire. But
Per mile from Bell.
this is what I was talking about. This has made me so
Quarter mile
angry.
from Bell, 10-4.
This is the small copter pilot. He had a seat for just 2 people in the helicopter. And so he's flying extremely low, like in a riverbed. That's a very low risk for mid-air collision stuff. And he finds a couple stranded in the river, and like people are starting to die of thirst, or they're starting to drink the contaminated water, and that's not good. So he takes the wife first, lands on the shore. Fire captain or whatever it was, guy in charge, harasses him and says, "Don't you go get the wife?" And he's like, but
Old Airport.
I saw an interview with him.
10-4.
Says, "You can't be flying over there. There could be like a mid-air collision." And he's like, I'm extremely low altitude, flying over the river, and I am connected with the transponder and all this. I have registered. I have signed up for
What is Inter 1293?
being a rescuer, and they said, well, we'll arrest you if you go back and get the husband who's stranded out there. And he goes, well, how is that guy going to be rescued? Yeah, that interview is heartbreaking. Yeah, here's the hero pilot. I really wish he just gave him the finger, and then we could have all donated to his legal defense. I mean, just do the right thing. Human law is one thing. There are, if you don't know, there are hundreds of people who are starting to die of like thirst, and babies are starting to die without milk. They are still without basic needs.
Unknown injuries.
It's worse than I imagined. The death toll may go into the thousands. And so, yeah, using a browser like Safari will, Chrome. This is so annoying. I'm so sorry. Do I have Instagram? No, I don't. Not since Facebook bought them did I want to participate with that. So this is damn ridiculous. Like he could have just in 5 minutes at least. He goes, just let me go get the husband, and then we'll sit and wait. And this fire, is he a captain or what? Assistant chief said, I'm going to have you arrested if you go and get the husband. There's a vehicle rollover crash. Auburn Folsom Road vehicle rollover. Prior sent. But watching the interview, they did an amazing good job with the journalism. He was on YouTube. So he already disobeyed orders and went back for his son. And he goes, "Can I get my son?" And he goes, "No." Like, seriously, you can. This situation was ridiculous. Now the rogue pilots like CPRO was talking about, this is not him. He was doing everything to register and let everybody know his location, and he was FAA app and all that on the phone. So it maybe this firefighter guy just flipped out. Like maybe he dealt with real rogue pilots. He was like, the next one who does this, I'm gonna, you know, I don't know, but that everyone's furious. So he did defy orders anyway. He got his son, went back to the island, and said, "Sorry, man, I can't. The firefighters told me not to rescue you. Bye." And then the firefighters set up elaborate ropes and crap and rescued the dude in a sort of risky over the water situation, which is just a waste of time. I don't know if it's true. The National Guard of the Carolinas, whatever, North Carolina, just deployed to Kuwait. I don't know if that's a rumor or not, if you guys know, but people are not getting helped. Bill D says he'll donate product. Yeah, don't worry about it, Flavors. I don't want to hassle you, but thank you for the super chat as well. I mean, that's good too. So, Kate Garcia says, I don't think he'll be assistant chief for long. No, it seemed like he flipped out and was unreasonable. Why would you arrest a pilot when everyone needs a rescue?
Cross Street's going to be Sunrise Ridge in Auburn.
Oh God, this rollover crash is worse than I thought. He said single occupant vehicle, occupant out of the vehicle, major damage to the vehicle at Folsom Road. Oh, the airport fires 100%. Good, good. Did you email me? I'm so sorry. I have that 1,250 unwritten. I really try my best, but after the stream, I spend 3 hours of just crap usually tying up loose ends. I'll always get some weird copyright thing. I'll have to write an appeal about copyright. Just because a song played for 5 seconds. I go to sleep, I wake up, and there's another fire. And I'm a solid 7 to 8 months behind in my personal affairs just because last year I didn't get a day off. The fire season went from June to December 15th with Ventura County.
Is it okay if I file log 1217 for that 23152 if EDSO pulled them over?
Okay, Spyman, I want to check on the Dutch fire. Oh, Spyman, which fires should we check on? Aerojet fire, White Rock Road and Salisbury Road, Rancho Cordova, forward progress stopped at 3 acres. Cool. Yes, I would love sample product, and I can give you the PO box address, but maybe I should just go drive down if you have some ready. Maybe I can meet you on the way down. So yeah, stay tuned and.
AM to 1126. Cross the region.
Tom says.
Covey, California, temporary. Charles William 58. Edward 97. The Silver Ford with 2.
Pilot showed his cell phone and tried
and
to.
for cleared and current 2013 Ford truck out of Auburn.
10-4.
I want to know if this person's okay in this rollover crash. His point of view was he showed the phone.
Auburn, I see single patient, minor injuries. Can't handle what these units have seen. Can cancel engine 41.
What injuries? My ears have.
Grass Valley, engine 41 copies.
Okay, I'm just gonna mute that. There's nothing I can do from here. Coffee? Yeah. Michael Jones says, wondering if I should have a coffee or get tired. Get tired. I have to wind down somehow, and that's what I was hoping we could do, like watch some cams and yeah, good night, Grumpy. I will be contacting you tomorrow. I have tried my best, but with the data breaches, I've spent a lot of recent time looking after my relatives and making sure, especially my elderly ones, making sure their credit is uh, locked down and safe because they got exposed in the big national data breach thing. I was lucky I'm not in it, but I had the foresight, just because I'm a streamer, to go remove myself from all those people finder sites, and I issued the legal notices to them to, not put me back on there. And I think it's probably well worth investment. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought that was fire related, but what was I just saying? I'm not tired. Yeah, what was I just saying? Oh my god. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty tired. Good night, Grumpy. I'll contact you. Um, I sound crazy, but I'm actually listening to this radio, and it's very compelling about all these medical calls and accidents. Tom says one rogue random person said not allowed. Another told him, "You rescue more, bring him here. We'll keep those idiots away." Yeah, I would like to know both sides of the story, of course. But so far, it just seems like a beeping contest. Please email you. Okay, you emailed me first, right? So I can reply. And now that I've got remember what your real name was, I will search for your real name in the email. Okay, guys, we continue to get absolutely lucky. This vehicle fire amounted to nothing because they got on it, cooled it off. Probably the trucker saved his own rig. Probably jumped out and threw everything he had at it as far as extinguishers and stuff. I tell you what, burning brakes. Out of curiosity, friends, on Highway 80, are there any of those truck ramps, the runaway truck ramps? Seems like a pretty steep thing. Okay, so email flavors for us or copy samples and meet up at Elkton. Possible meetup at Elkton. Okay.
You want 7 Robert William Boy 16.
Oh, they're just running a plate. Okay. All right, friends. Okay. Spyman, did you tell us? Yeah, the airport fire is 100% containment. God, what a brutal fire. 273 homes lost between the airport bridge and line on the same day, or the same week. I think there's just one structure lost on the line, but I had to sleep, and when I woke up, it's so hard to try to figure out when I can actually sleep. I was up all night because there was a mushroom cloud with the airport fire, and I thought it was going to cross that night into Riverside County, and nighttime is when people need me and us to guide them through the process, because that's when the media is asleep and all the hotlines are down. They close at 8 for all the official hotlines. Not like the fires clock out at 8. They held the line that night, and I thought, okay, I'll just come back in the afternoon. The next day, when the wind picks up, and that's the greatest danger. And I just couldn't move. I was so exhausted. And I look at my phone, and it had run and rampaged in the morning into Riverside County. I thought for sure they would hold it until the worst part of the day. Uh, I wish I could just stay awake all the time and not need sleep. Yeah, they have i80 ramps. And kiss this, by the way. Your new facility is in Sutherland? Oh, that's a nice place. The whole region is a nice place. Oh, cool, cool. So how's it going? I love the smell of roasting coffee. Do you roast? Now, if I could meet Nick Giles down there in Central Oregon on I-5. Yeah. Good night, group. Please don't be here at 4 when I can't sleep. I know. How can I get... See, I came here ready to start relaxing. But this truck fires and... you know what I have to do is I have to turn this off. The radio is what makes me too anxious. There's something about it where every time they queue up, I'm like prepared to hear truck 1, truck 2, truck 3, truck 4, engine 5, engine 6, engine 7, dozer 5, dozer 9, dozer 11, strike team 5, partridge, pear tree. All units respond to the next fire thing. And I think that's it. I have to turn the damn thing off. We'll just trust in watch duty to alert us to something new. Although watch duty was a little bit off today. On the radio, they said it's grown to 45 acres, which didn't make any sense because it was still in the lines. It was measured at 23 by the mapping plane. And so the mapping plane person interjected and said, no, it's still at 23. So they said, correction, still at 23. And we heard it on the channel that Calfire goes and updates their website to 45. Watch duty just goes, boom, acreage is 45. I don't know if that's automatic or what, but a couple of fires have been completely absent from watch duty down there in Tulare County. J-Cat says it's 2:30 in the morning here in the center of the universe. Oh, you don't do coffee. Wait, something said coffee. I thought you said coffee. All we do is freeze-dried garlic. What? That drink? You might have a challenge selling. Freeze-dried garlic coffee. Okay, Aerojet fire, Rancho Cordova, forward progress on all other starts has been stopped. What? What? Other fire starts? Salisbury Road, Rancho Cordova, Sacramento County. What? What? Here, I thought we were just going to talk more about memberships and just round up. What other fire starts? Okay. Forward progress on all the other starts in the area has been stopped. 3 acres. Resources are on the scene of vegetation fire that's approximately 2 acres with slower to spread. What other starts? Watch duty. Oh, it's by a canal. Oh. And it's California. Oh. Probably a couple hundred people living there who are homeless because of the wildfires that burned everybody's homes out. Oh, there's still paradise victims living at the river bottoms by Marysville and Yuba City. Once Congress and the governor passed legislation to reduce the amount of money that PG&E had to pay the victims and also to give the victims worthless stock options instead of their homes back. That's what half the rent problem in California is about. I was about to move down to California to be closer to my family. My father's going blind, and Paradise happens, and these other fires that just, you lose that much housing, and the housing went crazy in the whole region. with all the dead forest everywhere from the Dixie and the Caldor, they could have immediately just salvage logged that really quick and built everybody a home. Especially mountain people could have just quickly made cabins. Log cabins are actually really fireproof, surprisingly, because they're so thick. Have you ever taken a cigarette lighter and tried to light a log with it? It just doesn't work. The thicker the thing, the harder it is to get going, especially if the bark remains on it. You take siding and stuff on the homes, and embers get caught up under them. That's our whole company, freeze-dried garlic seasonings. Oh, okay. I went to Maui 2 months ago. It was so sad seeing the homeless locals were sleeping in their cars or on the beach. Yeah, they just released a 300-page report about the Maui Lahaina disaster. So they inappropriately re-energized damaged lines. Power companies getting away with murder again and again. SoCal Edison, Pacific Core, PG&E, and now Hawaii Electric. We need to tackle the corruption. The public utility commissions are just in bed with them. When the Lahaina victims came in here, assuming that they were real, and they were demanding that I tell the truth about Lahaina, I said, "What truth again?" And they go that it's space, either space or domestic direct energy weapons or whatnot. I said, "Oh yeah, that's what they want you to think. Let's them get off the hook. You ever think that psyops can be corporate?" Just let that sink in. I hate people being manipulated. I even showed that there's home video of their lines bouncing around on the ground, starting fires, not just the power substation. And people still don't believe what happened. It's just, I found out that one of the main reasons for conspiracy belief is, well, fear makes, there's two things that make a smart person irrational: fear and anger. So when fearful people are afraid and like maximum amount of fear, they have to choose kind of subconsciously between every single power pole is a threat to my existence. The power company doesn't care that I live. We can all be eliminated at any time. This could happen again, and nobody is safe because of the stupid power company. You have to choose between that or somebody is in control of everything. That's a more comforting feeling. Is that somebody is in control. And so if somebody is in control, that somebody has to be evil. So then people they gravitate towards the government does know how to control the weather. And either foreign entities or our own government, for some reason, is burning down sleepy tourist towns and places like Paradise, which is a retirement community. That's not really exactly a strategic target, but you can't use regular reasoning. They won't respond to it because they still have that fear and that need to feel that somebody's in control. The only way you can fight that, I mean, this is trauma, I'm not being judgmental, is give people a sense of empowerment. And that's what I try to do. I try to say, look, I can't protect you from whatever you're talking about, but I can teach you fire survival. So even if the freaking power company does this again, you'll know how to live. There were plenty of shelter in place options in Lahaina, like double-decker parking lots. People drove right past them and got caught in the traffic jams when they should have pulled into the parking lot and chilled. That helps. Show people they have power, show people they have a little bit of control, but they have to acquire the knowledge, and then they can lead their own neighbors in a time of crisis, their own family. You can be the calm in the storm that says, don't go that way, this is actually safe, stay right here. And you can build your own fire shelters or find out how to get into sewers. There's many options. But when people don't listen, I just can't have them take over. Unfortunately, with a couple of people earlier this year, they started all caps. You're helping them kill us because you're hiding the truth. And I'm going, mm. But what can you do? It's the same thing about evacuations. And Truckee Fire Meadows was doing a pretty bad job with their PR, scaring the living daylights out of people. I learned very early and tried to look up, how can I be more influential? How can I actually say things and have people believe me? And that is, don't tell people what to do. Don't tell people what to think. Just say, here's what I do, and you should evacuate, in my opinion, but here are your options. Here's the best case, worst case, middle ground scenario for your community should things go wrong or right. And these are your options. And this is what you can expect. And I described what it's like to live through one of the big, crazy fires. And my brother and others have described them, and I've seen enough videos. And I've been in front of some of the mega fires, but not directly in them. And I just described what you can expect. And do you want that, or do you want to leave while you still can? Up to you. But if you make people more scared, they're more likely to stay. Making people scared makes them freeze up. It's fight, flight, or freeze, and there's nobody to fight, right? So if somebody's already more likely to stay at home because that's a place that feels safe, if you make them more afraid, they're more likely to stay. So no all caps, run for your life. You gotta get out now. Very early on in the stream, I prevented people from, with good intentions, saying that sort of thing on my stream. Yeah, I know, drunk rock. I know. Yeah, and what? A blue roof on your house? God, the roof is why that home survived in defensible space. It's because they had fireproof soffit vents and gable vents that were brand new and met fire codes. They were ember resistant. So Lahaina mostly burned down because embers from the burning buildings and vegetation moved over onto the roofs, and many of the roofs were wooden, which oftentimes they can still resist fire, but not when they go into the attic. Most homes are lost because the embers go into the attic and the fire is lit from within. So this lodge here survived wildfire just running past it, and probably because metal roof, and they probably have just screens that can't allow embers inside. So if we change our fire codes like that, the Lahaina disaster did not have to happen. More than a dozen homes didn't need to burn. In fact, entire neighborhoods survived because they did not have the power lines in them, and they were not downwind of the power lines that did start the fires. So it was the wind just carrying the embers, and it spreads too fast, and it's too intense for the fire crews to do anything. Same thing with the Oakland firestorm. In the Oakland firestorm, a house was on fire every 28 seconds, or 38 seconds is what JB said, retired fire captain John Bruno. So, yeah, thank you, Flavor. So I try to show people the hope that the house was, in the height of the Miracle House, was unattended. But it was completely immune to embers. And neighborhoods without power lines in them that were not downwind completely survived unscathed for the most part. And it wasn't a conspiracy. That's what burying the lines do. It makes you safe. And in a hurricane country, why in the hell would you have lines above ground? I don't know. But Catherine, you can't bury the lines with basalt lava, which is Hawaii's bedrock. That's okay. I mean, I'm sure they have sewers, but you can have conduit pipes above ground. But Drunk Rock says no one realized a fire was there. That's it. Also, just people weren't told when. This is why I say get out if the smoke comes your way and there's still time, or shelter immediately and tell your neighbors if you can. Like bang pots and pans outside, or the dinner triangle, or blast your stereo, honk your horn, whatever you need to do. Do the SOS, beep beep beep, honk honk, honk honk honk. A lot of people will understand what SOS is and be like, "What is that?" People, when a massive fire is coming towards you, it's going to be like a rain-wrapped tornado. It's invisible. The smoke from a fire that's a couple miles away is as thick as a couple of meters away. By the time you see flames coming out of the smoke, it's way too late to be getting in your vehicle. And so when a wildfire happens and the smoke comes towards you, the fire is too. If you cannot confirm that it's an okay situation, you should assume it is not, and you should just get out of your house and go. Grab the keys and go. Alert as many neighbors as you can, and make as much noise as you can on your way out. And take as many people as you can. Lead them to safety, and you should use a satellite map to find shelter-in-place options, and know about them ahead of time. Just yell out the window, "This is where you go. This is where you go." Here's Lahaina. Lahaina. There's a Hillsborough Airport where Sea Probe flew out of today. God. The one biggest shelter-in-place option was the double-decker parking lot. That won't burn. Yes, there have been vehicle fires inside double-decker parking lots, but that's because the vehicles caught fire. They're not going to if you're there. Some flaming debris rolls up against your car, you just kick it away. Wrap your wool blanket that you always keep in your car, put it around your leg, and kick that thing away. Use a broom, whatever you gotta do. Where was that double? Oh God, it's devastating. I was hoping there'd be the before pictures. The parking lot is still here. So let's just say parking lot. So many people drove right past it, and they should have just turned into it. And once they got into the parking lot, they should have gone to rescue the elderly. Assume that they're going to be left behind and die, because that's what typically happens. The disabled and the elderly. So once everybody's at the safe shelter-in-place spot, everybody should have a powwow and say, okay, mission now. We go get the elderly from the rest home, and we bring them here, and, split off and meet back a certain time. But I think almost everybody in the rest home died. And that's pretty much what happened in Paradise 2, which makes me want to cry now. I just can't see it. Where is this stupid parking lot? No, not at the tree. The tree survived like I said it would. The one with the double decker. Nothing like that exists anymore. Hey, even this one would have been fine. You park right here, people would have survived. In Paradise, they sheltered in the Ace hardware store parking lot, big box stores, the Safeway, the grocery store. Where is the double decker? That was a house full of cars. Oh, none of this still around. But since they didn't de-energize the lines, also lines fell in the neighborhood all over the place in like a checkerboard pattern, which made escape almost impossible. That's not it. Cinema, double decker, concrete parking lots. Oh, for little cars. All right, that's too depressing to look at. I'm sorry, but there is one. I already went over that in my old footage, but that's how you can be a hero to your community. just knowing what to do, just directing traffic, and be the hero. If a traffic jam occurs, get out of it. Leave the keys in the car so people can move it. But you be the hero and tell people what to do. Culverts, under culverts, bridges, sewers, parking lots, baseball diamonds, track and fields, golf courses, construction sites, recently plowed fields, small grassy areas with green or short grass. And I have the balls to just hunker down. It'll be hell to ride it out, but it should only take 2 hours. The worst will generally be over in 2 hours. I don't know about a city fire, but generally for your typical wildfire. Let's do it. Let's do a replay here. Yeah, Drunk Rock says most mountain communities have spots that fire users learn them and live. Exactly. That's the staging areas. So, for example, the fire crews, like in this one in, where did I just put that? The one that was in the Logan fire? My tabs are now very confused. That, where is the, oh yeah, that's the one in the Sierras that they can't put out because it's high altitude and there's no roads. Okay, that scared me for a second. I need to close some tabs. That cabin was a staging area. Oh, I know it's the best staging area. I mean, people love a golf course. It's not going to burn, and it has all the water supply in the world. And so they typically go there. But big open spaces with parking lots, and the firefighters will retreat back to them if it picks up and it gets pretty bad. And then they'll wait for the worst to be over, then they'll leave and go back to what they're doing and rescue. That's how the firefighters never left Paradise. They stayed there. They sheltered in place with folks and tried to herd people into the buildings they could save. So, as bad as Paradise was, thousands of people sheltered in place, and it looked like a Holocaust from the air. It looked like a nuclear weapon had been dropped. But you can live. Culverts are especially my favorite, ones that are wet. Angeles Oaks right now for the line fire. We've got a live Angeles Oaks cam. That's a good example of a staging area. Here they are. This is live, so nobody's there right now. But if you zoom back out, here at Angeles Oaks, here's where they have their staging day after day for the line fire. Now, if all of these trees were on fire, like at 200-foot walls of flame, with pyrocumulus and a mega fire, this is not going to be safe. But for your average, it is. For what happened, days ago, since October 1st, absolutely safe. So don't scream down or get in a traffic jam down a highway or something that's sketchy. Never leave a place that's safe for a sketchy road that you can't, if you can't guarantee that that road is open, you can quickly pass and it's safe, then you shouldn't take it. Just look around for your shelter-in-place options, ponds and swimming pools, but this is better than that. Put the ass end of your car into the wind, just close your vents, and read a book. Stay calm. Be vigilant for flaming debris rolling up against your vehicle. Is that a balloon? Is that a balloon on that car? It's a balloon. If anything rolls up against your car, like a flaming trash recycle bin or something, get out, take your wool blanket, wrap it around your leg, and punt it. Or, like I suggest, a little Swiffer pole. It's metal and collapsible and lightweight, so you could shove stuff aside. Now, that can fit into a small car. And then get back in and read your book. Just make sure you don't park where a tree could fall on your vehicle or yourself. Just eyeball, if that tree's on fire and falls, can it get me? Same thing with the power lines. And try not to be around power lines at all. So, Bigfoot Bushcraft says I was 9 months in Paradise doing the cleanup. Oh. Respect. Must have been one of the hardest things of your life. I'm not sure what it looks like right now. It's been quite quite a time since I've been there. I was there in the summer of 2022 last. I was there when it was still going, and just as I arrived in California to support my brother, Paradise was technically the first fire I ever covered. I went live, and I had no more than 16 viewers at a time most of the hour. I was trying to show people satellite maps and radios. I was listening to it, and I did have some people come in, and I helped them, but because I didn't have a big subscriber base, YouTube wouldn't promote my content. So almost nobody saw it. But as soon as I went down there, I was actually in the car on the way to Paradise to film Aftermath, and the mudslides came, and that's when body recovery ended. And they started blocking the roads. So it was the following spring that I came in 2020, and I started crying because the oaks were sprouting again, like nothing had happened to them. I thought it looked like there was thousands of dead oak trees, and it was black earth everywhere. There was green grass, and the blackened oak trees were sprouting. But I was shocked that late 2022, there were still burned out cars. I used to take horseback riding lessons there, and I decided that I would go and try to find where everybody died so that I could find out if they had some way to save themselves. To teach fire survival, I have to study this. And some of the roads I went on, I think that's where I took horseback riding lessons. And they still had those big melted spots on the street where the cars had melted, and I knew what happened right there. Bigfoot Bushcraft says 6 months in Santa Rosa on the Tubbs fire, 5 months in Redding on the Calfire, 9 months in Paradise, and the list goes on. I love helping people. I'll drink to that. Salute. Yeah. So, Drunk Rock says we create safe zones with Zozers too. Right. Bare earth, right? Mineral soil. If you're in the most desperate of situations, and we're talking you're about to die, okay? You can light a field on fire at the head of you, a grass field. Fire's behind you, the wind is to your back, it's coming towards your back, right? And you have a vehicle, or even if you don't, if you have no other choice, look, this grassy field is going to go up in flames, right? It's about the only time I'd ever recommend somebody do this. Light it. It'll go that way as long as the wind doesn't change. You're screwed if it does. It'll just burn off like that. It'll be cool enough to walk on or drive on pretty quickly. And once it's burned off, you go park on it and stay. If it's a big field, okay. And that might be a last option, shelter of last resort. Just only if you're about to die. Don't light backfires if you don't know what you're doing. Just don't. And nobody will fault you if you're about to die and the fire's coming that way anyway, but don't try that unless you're about to die. But just think about it. Grass burns off really quickly, and then once it's black, it's a safe zone, assuming it's big enough. So let me look back up there. I haven't seen chat for a bit. Yeah, Flavors Forest. I can't wait to try this garlic. I bet it's amazing on breadsticks. Okay, sorry, I think I did miss some things. Let me go back. Okay. In their cars on the beach, yeah. I had John Stoker went to Lahaina. He has a friend in Maui, and his friend in Maui went to Mammoth Lakes, California, and said, "Would you watch my elderly mother?" So she's a lovely lady. Tuned into the stream a bunch of times a couple months ago. Let's see, it was in June, late June, I think. And she wanted to donate to the stream, and that's all right, dear. Just give it to John. I'm sure he'll forward it to me. He's an honest man. But he said it was awful too. I've got an internet friend I've never met who's in Maui as well. He was born there, but he's not ethnic Hawaiian, just a resident. But that would be amazing to ever go back, ever go there. Yeah, there's a balloon. I wonder what the balloon's for. A lot of times residences will put balloons that say thank you, firefighters and stuff by the roadside. They love that. Okay, let's look back up there. Yeah, see you later, Flavors. Yeah, Rot says, yeah, you have California politicians and fires. Most of them take PG&E's money. So if you want a voting guide, I don't tell people who to vote for, but here's what to look for. Do they take donations from the power companies? If they do, don't vote for them in California, and let them know. Like, stop, sever your ties with the power companies, and we can trust you. If you take their money, we can't. Next. I never endorsed the guy you wanted to replace Newsom because it would have just been replacing him with during the recalls with somebody else who took his money from the power companies. That was depressing. But, you know, the cool thing is about this is because it's not aliens, space lasers, shadow governments, or lizard people, we can change everything with the stroke of a pen, mostly legislation. The best way to prevent wildfires right now from getting that bad, town erasers, is sign a bill or executive order or whatever it is, whistleblower protection. It should honestly be across all industries. If a worker is concerned and wildfire is about to begin, or any kind of structure fire, any kind, that they can, boom, cut off power or take matters in their own hands to do so. Whatever it is in their industry, stop the assembly line, and they cannot be fired, or the company faces big, big freaking problems. Make that fine hurt. You know, make the power companies afraid to intimidate their own workers, because this is what's happened much of the time. In Lahaina, there are more excuses like, we couldn't reach any supervisors to authorize a power shutoff. No, they said that also. Pacific Corps or Pacific Power said that also with the Beachy Creek fire in Oregon. It was Labor Day. We couldn't reach a supervisor to authorize a shutoff. We knew that homes were burning down and we were trapping people. And oh my God. But even if you don't have whistleblower protection, I always encourage people, look, there's human law and pressures, and then there's the right thing. And do it no matter what. You can hold your head high. You only have one life. And philosophically, there's a question. Do you have principles? If you're not willing to die for your own principles, you don't have any. Oh, I'm an ethical person until I feel threatened. Wrong answer. Oh, I'm an ethical and good person until I become afraid or afraid of consequences. Wrong answer. No matter what, you do the right thing. You are not going to be happy with yourself or sleep very well the rest of your life. At least I kept my job. But $1.5 billion disaster happened and many people died. You will not be able to live with yourself. You know, tell your story and people will hand you money for doing the right thing, you know. We all die. So how do you want to conduct yourself for that? Have principles. Okay. I would say arrest me and send me straight to prison. I will happily hang out and do my time. But I save lives. Besides, remember, an actual judge would have to send you to prison, like that helicopter guy who got intimidated by the over there in Asheville, North Carolina, intimidated out of rescuing more people, threatened with arrest. I'd say, here, cuff me, beep, just because I now know. Right, let's go here. Let's see, D6 for clearing a spot for tenders. D6 often move mountains. I'm not sure what D6 is. Bigfoot, bushcraft. Been watching you for a while. You're a badass dude. Where are you located? I don't know why dude came up. Thanks. Sorry, missed it. Portland, but I grew up in the Yuba County, Sutter County, Butte County, Columbus County, stomping grounds at Lassen a little bit. That's where I grew up, and then we moved to Portland as a teen, and then, well, I was a kid / teenager, and then since my dad lived in California and mom was in Oregon, I kept going down there back and forth, back and forth. Every year, typically, I would spend quite a lot of time in California. So that's why I know about authoritatively about what might happen with fire in Butte County, because I've seen it so many times before. I've experienced those storms, and I did not have the balls. Excuse me, but it's midnight. Oh my God, it's midnight. I did not have the balls at first to tell people Greenville's not safe. Absolutely, don't listen to the authorities. Get the hell out. Don't repopulate. I said I wouldn't repopulate if I were you. I wouldn't go back if I were you. I didn't know Daniel Kearns was such an experienced, volunteer firefighter at Taylorsville. He was saying, I've seen the lines. It's not going well at Round Valley Reservoir, which overlooked Greenville. He was saying, don't go to Greenville, but I didn't know who he was. I just tuned in. He was on Facebook. I didn't know that he absolutely knew his stuff. And he was saying, don't repopulate Greenville. So I said, guys, this local says don't populate. I go to bed as it escaped the Round Valley Reservoir as Greenville was looking down the barrel of a gun. And now I know to warn people what the barrel of a gun is. It fires above you in elevation, and there is a drainage pointed at your town, and the wind aligns with it and picks up. You're looking down the barrel of a gun. That's fire races downhill, driven by the wind. So that's a good time to get the hell out. That's extra danger for your community. And later, when I analyzed the situation, I came to that conclusion. Now let's go back to what is Watch G saying now? How long have you been watching, by the way? And thank you for the compliment, especially when firefighters pat me on the head, or foresters, or people with experience. That's my goal. Be as accurate as possible. I want everybody to correct me if I'm ever wrong, politely. But I've only become good at this because firefighters have taken me under their wings, and also, well, being the local for those areas, I am a lot less confident in other states, so I stick to Oregon and California. Other states by special request, as long as people can help me cover them, like Nevada. Yeah, nice seeing you with pizza tonight. It was fun hanging out with you. So once I woke up and Greenville had burned to the ground, I was awake 3 days covering the Dixie Fire. I woke up and I just couldn't believe it. It was like seeing September 11th. I thought it was like a bad trailer for a movie, like War of the Worlds. Like, I just at first didn't think that was real. I then realized I have to have some balls. I was more accurate than Calfire about what the potential was, just because I was a local. And the people at Calfire, it's not any fault of theirs, but they experience fire mostly from other states, and they were not locals. The teams that come in are not necessarily, they're usually not locals. They don't understand they're in a seventh circle of hell. That California's fire behavior is number 1 or number 2 worst on earth. due to the geography. That, Lawson County had one of the first recorded fire tornadoes that overran a crew and tossed firefighters like rag dolls, and it was caught on tape. And that's exactly where they were fighting the fire. So later with Westwood, we did the same thing, and the actual evacuation orders, the official ones, told them to drive straight into 200-foot walls of flame. And so thank God we corrected the erroneous official evacuation info. We did the same thing for Tahoe. Told people to get out because it was just obvious. There's nothing there to. Once it got on Sierra Tahoe's plateau, they didn't have any complete desert lines, so there's nothing in between you and the fire. Therefore, you should get out. Don't wait for it to get close to you. Anyway, I'm rambling here because I'm now tired. I think that it's Bigfoot and drunk rock and everybody who's experienced. Thank you for the encouragement. The other day, an Australian firefighter came in here and goes, "Oh, look, an internet firefighter." And I'm like, "Where, dude? You guys remember him? Like, why are you pretending that you can teach people how to fight a fire?" I don't. I teach survival. I probably don't know how to fight a fire. That's probably why I don't, dude. Stop drinking. I don't really listen to those guys anymore, but I want to make sure that I am accurate. This is life and death. It's not ego time. I really wish that I didn't have to do this. I wish the officials would do a 24-hour stream and have they were right there. They're the ones who could describe the scene, but heck, what can we do? What can we do? Yeah, Irvin, I went to film the Dixie Fire, and I was in the 4th of July parade, which was about honoring the people who, quote, kept us informed 24 hours a day on the fire status. And I blinked and I was like, that was me. My channel was the only one that went 24 hours a day. There were so many amazing people who helped out in the Dixie Fire with public info, from journalists to like Zeke Lunder, Daniel Kearns, and later Calfire got better with, they learned their lessons quick. I really respect Mike Wink. I think Mike Wink is now the incident commander of the Clear Lake Fire, the Glenhaven. Let me see. His name was flashed earlier. And even though he just got up, apologized, and said, "I'm sorry, we didn't know the fire could do that because we relied on computer modeling." That's a man right there. He learns from his mistakes. He did these inspiring speeches, and he was one of the great leaders of the Dixie Fire. I'd much rather have the same person in charge who has absolutely learned that lesson and been shocked into it than some newbie. So I was glad he wasn't replaced or anything. But I just wish that they did this. Until they are here we are. The evacuation notification system is absolutely broken. My friend would be alive. My brother would, and so many more people I knew in Paradise would be alive. Even though it's a grim task, I didn't finish my sentence. Mike Wink, right there. Oh, this video might have him. The incident update video I missed today. When I went to Paradise and I went to the fatality locations, some people were truly screwed and they had never stood a chance. The people on the east side of town, Death Alley, the dead ends that ended off in cliffs, no sewer system, no curb even, nothing, nowhere to to survive or hide, they got in their vehicles, and then power lines that were alive fell on the lead vehicle, and so that blocked the one road out. Now, those who made it towards Pence Road, I was sad to learn that a couple of those trailer parks, I could hear running water, and I followed the sound, and there were these giant culverts that could have accommodated 90 people under Pence Road. That's why I teach, when you have an evacuation plan, check out the culverts on your route out and mark the ones on your map that are good for sheltering, that can accommodate you, that you can reach, that hopefully are wet. They were gigantic. They were like 9 feet tall because California can have torrential flooding and rains, so they had gigantic culverts. Most of the people that perished were about 100 to 200 feet away from one. They just didn't know. So that's what I'd like to do, to travel and definitely get interviews with people who are able to do that, and have a documentary that is how to survive. That, I think, is a good priority for at least a short documentary. And then when people feel a sense of empowerment like that they're not helpless, that they don't have to drive crazy, which is the worst idea possible. Pence Road, the death highway, the furthest east that left Paradise, somebody got in a car accident and all the traffic stopped behind, and then they were swept. There was even a pickup truck that rammed cars, trying to ram them out of the way. That was the worst option possible. Most of these people could have walked to safety. But somebody got in an accident and blocked the road, and then blocked the fire crews from coming up the road too. So, yeah, I think that might be the most important next short documentary that I make, is how to survive. Interview some survivors, and that'll give people a sense of empowerment, and they'll be less likely to fall into the grip of conspiracy type stuff. If you feel like you're more empowered in your own life, more in control of it, the less you need somebody else to be in control of it. Let's watch this. Oh, it's on YouTube. Boy, that's very loud. Okay, I'll unmute it in a second. Okay, so here's Calfire. They do have a YouTube. I go and I subscribe with the ring bell to all these. It's copyright free too, since it's work of the United States government. Sort of. It's a state agency. There's a legal kind of middle ground thing, but they've made their own videos where they're like, we don't care. Please spread the word. Like, they're not there to prevent their own videos from being shared. That defeats the point. So here it is. If you guys want to like and subscribe there, I'll try to change the volume so it's not too horrible. Oh, wow, look at that show. Look, that's an S2, isn't it? Right, how loud is that for you? Oh, wow.
Good evening. My name is Mike Wink, and I'm the incident commander of the Glenhaven Fire in Lake County. An update on the fire was last mapped at 403 acres from our aviation resources. It's affecting the communities of Glenhaven, Clear Lake Oaks, and the Keys. The fire is approximately 10% contained. We have resources that will be on the fire all night, continuing to build line with dozers, hand crews, using roads and other natural barriers as places to stop the fire. We also have nighttime firefighting resources that will be here, those aerial resources. We have multiple helicopters and nighttime aerial supervision, which is a new capability for Calfire, which will be out here through the night, making sure we keep an eye on all those hot spots. As far as the fire goes, there were over 2,500 structures in the immediate area being evacuated, with over 3,000 people being evacuated as well. We have 2 structures that have been destroyed by the fire, as our assessment is ongoing.
I can confirm at least one looked like a pretty sizable home. I think it was 2 homes. But I've gone out of my way to not show that. There were media snippets that were quite good to show, but then they got a close-up aerial view of the house on fire, and you could definitely tell like whose house it was if you knew. So I didn't show that.
Crews have been doing a good job.
Okay, I want to point out something. That's cheatgrass. No wonder it was so bad over by Clear Lake. That's cheatgrass, it looks like. That's how the park fire got so bad. Cheatgrass is a suicide bomber plant. It promotes nasty, crazy fires that are super intense. And in an attempt to kill all other plants around it, it grows back from rhizome root system stuff. Its job, it's trying to be so intense because it wants to incinerate the seeds of other plants that seed, reseed, like California's native grass does usually. But the native grass burns with less intensity. So this stuff was imported in the 1860s as like cattle feed. Biggest mistake of all time. And boy, every time there is a fire, the more of it spreads, and the more native stuff is displaced. So every time that Butte County has a wildfire or anywhere else with this stuff, the next ones are going to be worse because this proliferates more. So I never really understood that this was non-native stuff, but there's others. If you look at the worst places to fight fires on Earth in the Western Hemisphere, which is what I'm familiar with, Portugal, and it's similar to California. You got a big ocean there. You got the ocean winds. You got a big mountain range, very similar to California. And California itself, the same thing with Peru and Chile. Ocean, mountains, similar seventh circle of hell, wind events. Greece. Cheatgrass is native to Greece and Turkey. That's part of why we always see Greece absolutely on fire. So we have to have a war on weed. We have to get rid of this stuff one way or another, or we can expect worse and worse situations. All right, let's keep going.
Have been doing a good job at doing structure defense. There is defensible space that folks have done out there to help us help you. We appreciate that. And our assessment will be ongoing in the days to come to make sure that we're validating any structures damaged or destroyed.
Good evening. I'm Lieutenant Gavin Wells with the Lake County Sheriff's Office. I'm in Unified Command with Chief Wink and Calfire. I'm here to talk a little bit about our evacuation order.
Check the Dutch? Okay. Thanks, Irvin. What's going on? Sorry, pause. What's going on with the Dutch? That. "14 minutes ago update." Okay. Okay. That's good. What a relief. I can go to bed better now and sleep better. We'll just watch. I'll start that video again. Some people hate the fact that I pause it. Maybe I should play the whole thing and go back and comment. I do know it drives some people crazy. Okay, this is the wrong crowd cheer. Yeah, that was it. Sorry, that's louder. Forward progress stopped on the Dutch. Is that what you wanted me to see, Urban? Thank you. Drunk the firefighter on the right is freelancing. Wait. Look at the firefighter to the right. Oh, in that building. Excuse me, not video. Dutch fire. Yeah, we are so lucky having the nighttime helicopters. That has turned the tide for many. Yeah, many this year of the big fires have been arson. We would have been so lucky this year. God, I despise an arsonist. There are very few criminals that will commit that kind of crime. but those that are willing to repeat it. It's the vast majority of arson cases are committed by the same people that just keep doing it and keep doing it the rest of their lives. They're that messed up in the head, they just don't care, or they're nuts, they're cold as ice, or they're just evil and sadistic in some way. I'm starting to realize I was studying the psychological profile of the arsonists, and I was going to have JB, on the show to comment too. They're pretty easy to understand, and now there's for arson investigation, they go with the FBI profiling, and I've been in the same room with FBI profilers when my mom was thinking of going into when she was getting her bachelor's in psych and thinking of which field to go into. So there was a whole series of lectures about what drives some of the worst criminals, and the arson one was eye-opening. Backdraft was a bit accurate, really. God rest in peace. What was his name? Kiefer Sutherland's dad was the firebug in prison. God, he was scary. He must have studied the profiling in order for the role as an actor. But there's just a couple of motivations and then kind of sub branches of them. And it would be very good for the public to understand them. It'd be worth exploring, even though I'm not, qualified to diagnose or anything like that nature. Everybody is qualified to read what the FBI wants you to know. Donald Sutherland, man, he was incredible. Let's see, let me make sure I'm not missing chat. The fire is cresting and the firefighter went direct while the team is in a safer area. Wait, is this past tense? Present tense? Kogon grass in southern states acts the same way. Yeah, there are many fire promoting weeds we have to just get rid of one way or another. And we can. Human beings are very good at making things extinct. Bounty systems where we have to do genetic engineering, just do it. Start with the eucalyptus, for God's sake. That's an easy one. See, did I miss? Hurricane Milton is supposed to make landfall Wednesday around 11 a.m. as a high-end Category 3 on Florida and lower Georgia. It's possible for a 4, according to Reed Timmer. Oh, God. I was hoping for a pleasant October. Drunk Rock says Paradise was my second year as a firefighter. I was on a strike team from Fremont, and everybody was coming. Yeah, my dad's house had firefighters in every guest room and every couch, in the backyard and in the front yard. At least we could do the search and rescue posses are what one of my in-laws does. She's in Yuba County posse. I don't know which one. And she told all these stories as soon as I went down there in late November, mid or late November, whenever the rains came. And she was telling me stories about rescuing the animals, and there was a donkey that stood around by one of the highways and would not allow them to catch it. They would go down its driveway and look back. So the donkey led them to people who were sheltering in place and cut off from communication. Donkeys are smart. So she had a lot of stories. I never asked my brother to fully recount what happened. He shared the most gruesome pictures on Facebook, not of death and gore, but of the damage. The smoke column, just unbelievable. He was a missing person, and we lost our minds for 24 hours. He got lucky. He's sitting there waiting for the second call to evacuate. They got the notice to pack, but we'll call you if you have to. No, the calls never came because fire instantly jumped over Concows Valley, raced up the cliff, chewed through cell phone towers, power lines, and phone lines immediately. And nobody had warning after that. They were just sitting there waiting for the phone to ring and didn't know it was dead. So, cop screams around the corner, run for your life. Now, the people who began packing down the street said, we'll be out in 5 minutes. Never saw them again. California has stopped designing death trap neighborhoods where almost every neighborhood has a maze of dead ends. A gridded maze of dead ends. And thank you guys for what you've done. Those of you who helped in any way, of course. Okay, let's go watch the video again. Real quick. Where did I put it? You scared me for a second, Urban. I thought you wanted me to stop my video and like, stop, check the Dutch fire. I thought I had done something. Okay, where's watch it? I have to do something to relax. We'll watch something relaxing. Something relaxing. I close. So many tips. Okay, that's how tired I am. It's open in front of me, but it's not the right fire. Oh my god, that's right. No, it was YouTube. YouTube redirect from watch to see how tired I am. Alright, let's just start it. I'll zip my mouth. And then I'll comment. This is an incredible shot. This is now if I was in a place of safety, if you were asking me when I go cover them like this far away, sure. Yeah. I just want to cover what the crews do, but I don't want to be in danger. I want to capture some heroism. Nope. Right, play.
Good evening, my name is Mike Wink and I'm the incident commander of the Glenhaven Fire in Lake County. An update on the fire was last mapped at 403 acres from our aviation resources. It's affecting the communities of Glenhaven, Clear Lake Oaks, and the Keys. The fire is approximately 10% contained. We have resources that will be on the fire all night, continuing to build line with dozers, hand crews, using roads and other natural barriers as places to stop the fire. We also have nighttime firefighting resources that will be here, those aerial resources. We have multiple helicopters and nighttime aerial supervision, which is a new capability for Calfire, which will be out here through the night, making sure we keep an eye on all those hot spots. As far as the fire goes, there were over 2,500 structures in the immediate area being evacuated, with over 3,000 people being evacuated as well. We have 2 structures that have been destroyed by the fire as our assessment is ongoing. Crews have been doing a good job at doing structure defense. There is defensible space that folks have done out there to help us help you. We appreciate that. And our assessment will be ongoing in the days to come to make sure that we're validating any structures damaged or destroyed.
Good evening. I'm Lieutenant Gavin Wells with the Lake County Sheriff's Office. I'm in unified command with Chief Wink and Calfire. I'm here to talk a little bit about our evacuation orders. Our evacuation orders have been reduced down to GLE E094B, CLO E098, CLO E099, and CLO E106. Effectively, those areas are north of Highway 20, west of High Valley Road, south of Cerritos Drive, and east of Harvey Boulevard. Law enforcement personnel are going to remain in the area all night, patrolling the evacuated areas, ensuring there's no looters, and ensuring fire personnel safety. We encourage everybody to remain out of the area that's under evacuation orders for the entire night and until the evacuation orders have been lifted. There are still 4 zones in evacuation warning. However, residents of those zones, which are GLE E072, CLO E073, CLO E082, and CLO E102, are free to go home, but we urge everybody to remain mindful. There still is an active fire burning in the area, and evacuations may again be ordered if the fire conditions change. I would also like to thank our law enforcement partners at the Clear Lake Police Department, Lakeport Police Department, State Parks, and the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office for providing mutual aid to assist us with the evacuations today. I'd also like to thank Lake County Public Works, Caltrans, and CHP for their assistance with road closures and making sure everybody remains safe.
Hello, I'm District 3 Supervisor E.J. Crandall of Lake County, California. We're here over in Clear Lake Oaks where we're stationed up with the first responders, Sheriff's Department, Calfire, North Shore Fire, and all of the other fire departments that came to assist in this situation here. And the Sheriff and Calfire, Chief Wink, they had taken me up to the hills where this had taken place, just to take a tour and show where everything was going on. One of the most important things to notice was that the defensible space that folks were putting in place. Now, of course, not everyone did that, but there was a majority of the properties that were doing this, and it really helped the first responders to get a hold of some of the areas and protect some of the structures that Lieutenant Wells was talking about. Without that defensible space, this goes from 2 to more. So it's important to remember that and highlight that. And so just wanted to make sure that you all knew that this took place. The other thing is there's a shelter right now in Middletown at Twin Pine Casino. There was some services on the North Shore, but now they've all been transported over to that area. So if there's a situation where you need to go somewhere for the night, head to Twin Pine, and that will be a place where you can have some respite from this situation. Make sure to check and know your zones. Make sure to have your go bags ready. Make sure to know that this can potentially still have an opportunity to come into different areas because of the embers and because of all that. And so because of the limited resources that are now taking place, because you don't have all of the different planes and helicopters, you have some night resources like Chief had said, but it's not as robust as it would be during the day. So just remain vigilant, keep checking, keep looking up your zones, keep looking up what's online, Facebook. You can check some of the website, the county website, the sheriff's website, and all of that. And like I said, remain vigilant, and yes, be safe out there.
That's a fancy graphic right there. Okay, can I show the nighttime stuff? Yeah, Calfire has a video about the nighttime helicopters. Is that what you meant? Okay.
They had taken me up.
First of all, I'm going to mute that. What gorgeous shots there. Man, Mike Wink, it's like me. After the Dixie happened, we aged a decade. We aged a decade. I would love to shake his hand. I would love to. The inspiring speeches he did throughout the Dixie every morning. Okay. Edge browser crashed on the streaming page. Maybe I do need 64 gigs of RAM, not 30, not 32. Okay, are we still alive? I don't know how many tabs I have open. Let me see. I think it says that in Task Manager. 86. 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 293, 94, 95, 96, 7, 98, 99, 100, 100. Keeps going. It keeps going. Yeah, I should close them. The line fire itself had, I think it had 23. 23. I still have some tab groups for the most fire-prone counties, so I don't have to recreate that every time. I've got 20 of these are probably just broadcast by from recent, the recent. I'll have to just close those. They killed the spot fires last night in the air. Yeah, that turned the tide. We always knew it would. But man, we all looked a bit more youthful before the Dixie was done with us, didn't we? Now, just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah, that looks like home. We did a lot of work like that on our property. One of the big wake up calls that we had is, we're newbies from the city. We decided to go live in the country. My dad had lived in a country in Georgia before, but like a small town, not like rural hills or anything, flatlands. So we thought we did awesome with our defensible space and our taming of the weeds and got rid of some of the flammable stuff like that poison oak. And we had a Spanish red tile roof and stucco. And we invited the volunteer fire department over and said, here, have a barbecue and rate our defensive space. Didn't we do a great job? Fire chief goes, you're all gonna die here, then your house is gonna burn down. That was a drop the forks moment. Okay, it was hot dogs, but you know what I'm saying. So that's what I encourage other people to do is help treat your firefighters and crews or whoever's around there, barbecue, and to pick their brains, get their opinion. Because we had to do a lot more to become safe. And just it wasn't that expensive or that big of a deal. Just water tanks up by your shop, water tanks down by the house. Take a tractor. We didn't even have to use a bulldozer, and we built like a soft fire access road. We did have to install 2 ponds, one close to the house to save it with its water supply, and then one further away from the house, so we could shelter in it without the heat driving us away from the house on fire. I mean, that was a bit more expensive, but not that bad. So, yeah, Urban says, but after that, we put a little gate there. We handed the keys, our fire access road. We put a lower pond on the property just well to fish in it. And so they said, yeah, what about the rest of your property? Do you want the acreage to burn down? And we're like, no. Okay, give us an access down there. Okay. And blah, 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 blah. Tell the full story someday. Invited him back and said, good job. You'll probably live now. And we won't be afraid to come up here and defend your house because we'll be able to live too. So looking at your neighbors, yours is the most defensible. We will choose yours to save it. It'll be our shelter in place option. It'll go past us. Then we'll go out and try to put out a neighbor's house if we can. And so that's the way that we made our place like a base of operations for the fire crews. We started putting little, areas of gravel for them to stage at. Improved it over time. And we made our neighbors safer. They didn't do jack, really. We had some drunks up the hill. They were like, wildfires don't kill anybody. It's the 20th century, man. That was like 1800s. But you have options. You have options. Oh, Kern County, welcome back. Says the airport fire got 100% contained. Yeah. Cutting down trees is a big deal. Well, oaks are fireproof almost. I mean, just their limbs kind of burn off, so keep those. An oak that's compromised has a hole in it, or like a big knot, there's things you could do. You could pack it with clay, but you've got to think that one could burn. But they tend to be so short as trees that long range ember cast is not a big deal. But if it's compromised, it's fireproofing is the bark, and they'll shrug off grass fires or grasses underneath them. And even dead ones, usually their bark is still good to resist fire. But does it have proximity to your house and do the limbs overhang it? Limbs falling on your house on fire, especially big tree limbs, there's nothing they can do. So an actual full-size pine tree or fir, whatever it was, fell on my brother's house in Paradise. So the fire crew saved the house across the street, but not his. Yeah, but cut down the piney stuff with resins and saps and madrone, and at least don't have too much of that, especially not near your house. If they're unhealthy and sick, sacrifice it to save the healthy. And replant oaks, get rid of eucalyptus, or you're totally insane. And the situation 12, what county was it where they had? Oh, yeah, it was up by Bullard's Bar, the one the other day. Was that just yesterday? God, everything is running together. Yeah, Bullard's Bar in Dobbins. That has a transition from the oaks, boom, to the piney stuff at higher altitude. And so I knew the fire would be way worse at Dobbins and Collins Lake. Where is it? Oh, there's Berry Creek. Bullard's Bar right there. Here, the trees are mostly piney, and so I was quite afraid for the Frenchtown Organ House area at Dobbins. This could be extremely bad over here. But if you go a little bit lower in elevation, like Loma Rica, that's where my friend died, like down here in this strip, this level of elevation is the grass and the oak, you know. But you start climbing steep in elevation the more northeast that you go. So it fired down by Bangor and Loma Rica on a usual day, not the Santa Ana Diablo kind of day that killed my friend and it was power lines down. In a normal kind of a day, easier down here, flat, totally different with the piney stuff up there. Let's look back at the chat. Oh my God, Kern. Oh yeah, pines are just like cheatgrass and stuff. They're suicide bomber trees. They're there to promote fire, even if it kills themselves. They're there to destroy the other trees because they grow back faster from seed. And a full mature piney kind of tree is pretty fire resistant. It's got thick armor, thick bark too, but it can have things like a ladder of sap. It can bleed sap everywhere and be its own doom. And the sheer amount of needles and dead stuff that come off of them, you got to make sure you've raked a lot and save only the healthy. Just get a good mix. Okay, yes, that's the thing. Is Paradise used to have oaks up on it. They were kind of bulldozed, for the whole gold rush and the mines and all this stuff. And what was replanted was the pine with an intent to, by a lumber company, I believe that used to exist, with intent to harvest. Now, some of them were sequoias. The coolest thing I went and saw at Paradise in summer 2022. You guys want to see some pictures? My cutoff time is 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll show you a few pictures of Paradise if they're handy. Let me open that real quick. The coolest thing about it. Stop. Oh, there's the death row. We don't want to look at that. Tree, the sequoias that look completely dead. They're like charcoalized. They just look like here's some oaks. They survived. I didn't mean to drop this photo. This is the mailboxes with mail still in it and newspapers and some of the time for dead people. That's why there's still mail in there. This is the melted plastic of the newspaper holders underneath the mailboxes. Because the grass underneath it melted the newspaper holders. That's a tough one. let's see. Where is the cool stuff? The trees. Stand by. Did a lot of filming stuff down there and just couldn't believe it. I've aged a decade. It's paradise. Also, that's a little bit of the beauty filter, whatever it automatically deploys there. But that's a liquor store with melted glass everywhere. Where's the cool thing? The sequoias. I go over to one of the trailer parks south of Pence, kind of southeast of town, where a lot of people didn't make it, and there were these trees that looked like just charcoalized bricks. The amount of trees they removed from Paradise and dumped somewhere near Beale Air Force Base was enormous. The logging trucks of the dead trees went by the intersection at Marysville Road with a highway. We have to get on the highway to go to Beale Air Force Base. And I sat at the Carl's Jr. one day, and dump truck, logging truck, dump truck, logging truck. They were all just debris to be incinerated. There were 941 trucks every day going back and forth. And it went on for so many months, and years. The wood was contaminated with all the dioxins, the plastic toxic fallout. When plastic burns, it makes dioxins, which is pretty much the most cancer-causing stuff known on Earth. Known to man. There it is. That's a sequoia growing back from being a charcoalized brick. It's alive. They had little tape around them to save them, and everywhere nearby, the piney type trees have been cut down. And I looked at the bark and went, oh, it is sequoia. Shut my mouth. Totally fire-resistant trees, but they grow slowly, so that's why they don't get replanted after harvest. But it wasn't like that until 2022, and they just sprouted back to life. They look completely and utterly dead. And I don't know. I hope it becomes healthy again. But they were chosen to be saved. But the pines were not only dead but hazardous because they grow quickly, and so they have weak wood that's very weak and prone to break. And it would be cool if they could have been salvaged, but if they had lumber milled these, taken to the mill, the contaminated trees, they would have killed with cancer the people who worked at the mill, because of the sawdust would have just been pure cancer to inhale. Okay, I have an embarrassing question. Paramedics versus EMT, what's the exact difference? Emergency medical technician, paramedic seems kind of synonymous as a job description, and I don't want to invent the difference. You guys tell me. I keep forgetting them whenever I learn it. Now, here's the Sequoia, and this is the trailer park. This is one of the death roads going by where the mailbox is melted, and north is to the left. I came back and I was like, shut my mouth. This is where the trailer parks were. So the oaks they left, of course, because they just shrugged off the fire. It mostly moved along the ground. And the power lines just going down everywhere is what doomed people, because it trapped them. When the structures started going up, the fire crews couldn't get into neighborhoods like this because there's down power line that not only trapped the people on this road, which was the one way out to the north, but they couldn't get access to the area because they needed the power shut off. So once the structures began going up, they just lit each other on fire, just because nobody could get to it to prevent that. It's cheap grass and more of that crap here. Lots of invasive stuff, drill. Yeah. So paramedics is much harder than EMT. Oh, Cynthia, sorry, I didn't see that. I've got another window in front of the chat. Thank you for becoming a member. From what I read, I get $10 for everybody who becomes a member on their own, even if they do $2, I think. I have to read the fine print of that program, but thank you so much. Welcome. And how are you tonight? Let's see. This is what I'm talking about member content. Like, I could do a members only stream like this, and then 24 hours later, make it so that everybody can see it. But this is behind the scenes stuff. I'm trying to make a documentary about, well, survival and then what went wrong. The whole Dixie Caldor scene. So when I was in Plymouth County to film the Dixie Fire and rent the plane like we did, you guys want to see some of the drone footage real quick? I don't know that my drone can fly anymore. I think the FAA just said you have to have a transponder on it. It's like $100, and it might imbalance it if I try to attach the thing. So we might have to fundraise for a new style drone that already has that. Mine's quite old, but hey. Wait, that's the thumbnail. That's the low resolution. Excuse me. Plug it in a browser. I'll probably crash the browser. This, what do you think this is, friends? Top down, zooming in. At Paradise. It's filmed in 4K, I believe. I'm broadcasting in 1080, but you get it. This is why the firefighters let this one go. The roof style is a bow truss roof. This is the wall. We're looking straight down. What do you think this is? Cynthia says the main difference between EMTs and paramedics relates to the amount of education, training for each job, and the complexity of tasks. Okay. Can you give me an example? No, I haven't yet, Cynthia. There's a problem with Intel processors. And also, two people said that they would hook me up with laptops like instantly, like boom, so I could make a quick trip to California. And so I was trying to work with both of them to see which one I could either borrow or, take that would be adequate. But I was very hesitant once I heard about the problem with the Intel 13th and 14th generation processors. They're just called Raptor Lake. It's a code name, Raptor Lake. So it started coming down the pipe and down the news about this time that people were buying these, not just laptop, Intel i7s and i9s, which is what we would need in our laptop for video. Just pause it right there. They said that these processors were getting damaged, and the laptops and the computers in them were completely either refusing to turn on or crashing all the time, and it was processor damage, and nobody knew what was going on. It was assumed that there would be an Intel recall, and I wanted to go with an Intel processor. They're just good, and they're more common in video production laptops. And so we assumed there was a defect and there was a recall. So I was waiting, okay, are they going to say which ones are part of the recall? What's going on? And nobody could understand what was happening. It was like a third to one half of those sold had come up with issues. They just now last week announced that they have the final solution, and it was the BIOS. What the BIOS is a control panel of your computer. That's a term for it. So as your computer restarts, you spam the delete key or F12 or F2, you'll see a hidden menu of options for like how making your processor faster, slower, and turning on options for the computer. Some of them are security, and some of them are like for special things, like do you want USB 2.0 to function in legacy mode so you could use an ancient mouse from 1989 or well, the mid 90s when USB came around, early 90s. You know what I mean? Make vintage stuff work with a modern computer. So when you go into that BIOS, there's also voltage settings. 99% of people will leave that alone. It usually comes from the factory with a version 1, 2, or 3, with a new computer of the BIOS. And what Intel and the motherboard manufacturer will do is find bugs and release a fix as typical. And there might be 6 different BIOS updates for your computer before it's no longer updated, right? And many people never have to change the BIOS. Most people don't even think of it or even know what that is. However, the BIOS was defective. Like Intel's instructions to the manufacturers of the motherboard were wrong, and the voltage was too high, and the voltage fried the processors. This was just discovered and confirmed in the last 2 weeks. And I was like, okay, so is there a fix? Intel released a BIOS version for people to download and install. If you get a brand new computer, it should be okay. But if you turned the computer on and used it without that BIOS update, then it started to get too much electricity, started to get fried. So those unfortunates who used their computers this year, bought one this year, Intel says, unfortunately, we don't have a way to tell if your CPU is already damaged, your processor is damaged. If your computer crashes a lot or is unstable or doesn't start, send us back the CPU. So Intel is terrifying news for my neighborhood, like Portland area. It's the backbone of the economy up here. That, Tektronix, and Nike, like that's the biggest driver out here of the economy. And Intel may fail and break up as a company and be sold off, including their fabs, which are around here. So this is another nail in the coffin of Intel's presumed imminent death. I never thought I'd say that, but they were going to come out with a new processor like now this month called Arrow Lake. Raptor Lake had the issues. I was hoping, okay, maybe Arrow Lake will release sooner. They canceled Arrow Lake. Apparently it was so defective that they're just not going to make it. So there won't be any new Intel processors like that. What do you call that? Like every year they're supposed to come out with new ones. There won't be this year. Yeah, good night, Irvin. Thank you. So I'm confident now, a lot more, that we could get a Raptor Lake because I spent the last month trying to find one that had all the parameters with a Ryzen processor, and they're just not that common. So now I think we can go back and have more to choose from. Meteor Lake may be the safest option, which is a processor that's maybe better than a Raptor Lake i9 for what we do with video production. It's more expensive. But I'm thinking it may be the safest bet, because what if they're wrong? What if I get a brand new laptop that's MSRP around $3,500 just for it to be damaged? With Intel maybe supporting a recall, sometimes these processors, you can't pull them out of laptops anymore. You used to be able to, but now sometimes they solder them in, so the whole laptop is toast if the processor is damaged. I can swap out a processor, no problem, but I can't unsolder one. That's not something I think anybody can do. So, I'm now looking for Meteor Lake, back to the drawing board. I had all these options, and those that now that I was like, whew, as long as I don't turn on the computer or get an open box or a refurbished one, I'll flash the BIOS before even on its first startup, and I'll be safe, which means update the BIOS. So I go back to my list of the Intel ones that were acceptable. They're all sold out. So, okay, we'll begin looking ASAP. I should probably pull the trigger and buy one tomorrow if I can, because it might take days to ship here. So, Cynthia Fire Fairy 42 says, I just bought a brand new Lenovo laptop. If it's handy, I'll tell you if it's safe, if it's affected. If it does have, if it says Intel 13th or 14th processor or Raptor Lake on it, don't turn it on until you've changed out BIOS, update it. The average person can update a BIOS. Intel will probably be telling people how, but if you have a computer nerd friend, it's much safer. If a BIOS update goes wrong, your computer's a brick. But that's a remote possibility. If you follow the instructions, it'll be fine. But it cannot be interrupted as a process. If it says dual BIOS, you're much safer because you have a backup BIOS. Dual, like two. But if you get the flip the laptop over, you get the make and model. I'll look up the specs and I'll tell you if it's safe. Has it been stable? And is it Intel? Yeah, it doesn't matter who made it. The over voltage problem was affecting all motherboards. Okay, let's go back to this real quick. What are you seeing? This is the grocery outlet Safeway in another small strip mall in Portland. Excuse me, Paradise. Excuse me. Now these little scrapes, that's where bulldozers made walk-in access to the store, and it was very eerie what I found in there. Some of the debris from the roof collapse kind of extinguished the fire on some of the shelves, and so there were cartons of vegetable broth and olive oil in glass containers that were still like sealed. So eerie. I only walked where the walkways were. I didn't touch a thing, and I should have thrown away my shoes. And I got dioxins all over them. I should have put plastic bags all over my shoes. Everywhere in Paradise, you saw discarded shoes at where the salvage people and the cleanup crews were. They would buy, the cheap rain boots, walk around a property that's contaminated, and just leave their shoes there. So I wanted to point out, what do you see? This has a concept. What's on the left side of the screen versus the right? It's 1:02 a.m. Okay, last call for fire info. This is my sneak peek. This is the kind of member content that you guys can see first before released to the public. If you guys want to become members. It's not fine, drunk. It's not fine. If you're talking about laptops, no. It's affecting 13th and 14th generation Raptor Lake processor. Many people sheltered in place here just fine, and you can see that parking lots don't burn. The heat from the buildings on fire killed a couple of the bushes closest, but most of them were perfectly green and fine. The people that pulled in here were pretty dang safe. To the right, which is west, we're looking south. To the right is northwest, technically. Those neighborhoods burned down, and all I had to do was walk over here. The elderly people waiting to be picked up in those trailer parks to the right across the street, and in that neighborhood, all they had to do was walk over here to save themselves before they got trapped. So Cynthia says I'll check it out and let you know. The first one I had was last generation. I bought 4.5 months ago, and it was defected. Do you know what kind of defect? It was upgraded by Geek Squad for $200, and I've had it 3 weeks so far, so good. Okay, well, don't turn it on again, or until you can verify, because the BIOS update just came out. Yeah, within a week ago. It's maybe 2. I don't think that yours would have it yet. I could be wrong. Let's look it up. Intel BIOS update. Raptor Lake. Oh, maybe they did. I didn't think that was early August. Okay, they just confirmed that it worked. Oh, yeah. Wait, 1 week ago, Intel to release another update addressing this instability. Yeah, the one in August didn't work. That's why I went, oh God. Fires have generally been too intense for me to sit there and explain this. Somebody even said my laptop fund was a scam. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Do you understand that this is my job? It's supposed to take care of my living expenses plus my streaming expenses. Kidding me? But some trolls, they're just probably trying to trigger me. What am I supposed to do? You want me to stream from a cell phone? Okay. So Intel to release another microcode update. Just one more patch, bro. See, I'm not sure it's over. They're saying it is. They said when people got the idea on the earlier updates, they specifically went out of their way to clarify it wasn't the final one. So it looks like a buyback or recall program is probably next for Intel. My God. Why didn't they just test it? This is where billions in profit are probably going to be lost, if not hundreds of millions. Because maybe somebody did a typo for voltage in the instructions of, the processor sits in the motherboard. Your motherboard is the main part of your computer. It is what your computer is. Everything else just slots into it. That's why it's called mother or main board. Everything else slots in. So a processor goes right here, CPU. And you can usually upgrade that, at least on a desktop, not really on a laptop. But I just can't believe it. It could have been the difference of a decimal point or something. Voltage for CPUs is it's just like 1 to 1.2, 1.3 volts usually. And if you do 1.8, it's most processors will shut down when they overheat to save themselves instead of melting. And I just wonder why there wasn't a failsafe for that. Overvoltaging does cause extreme heat usually. But since there's no diagnostic that can tell you if your CPU got damaged by this process, there's no way to know if it's just unstable, if your computer's just unstable. And a lot of laptops you can't remove and replace the CPU. They're soldered in like that. Okay, it's 1:07 a.m. Did I miss something? Make sure I did it. Okay. You know what? We're going to listen to rain for a minute. That'll be soothing. For 2 minutes, we can listen to some rain. I had that playing for relaxed time. There's a really cool sound effect I have that kicks off. Whoops. The rain track, which I could put in the background. There we go. One of my millions of tabs. It'd be super loud. I'm gonna turn it down. All right. I put red lights on as a ritual before bed. They say that's good to tell your body it's sleep time. It's not like I ever go outside anymore. And pink is the new black. That was a cool, that's a cool shot right there. Expert precision. Okay. Now, they kind of screwed up their own audio. It's funny, they're used to projecting their voices and giving a big booming speech, right? When you have a mic underneath your chin or it's up to your mouth, don't project. You're yelling into the mic. Just speak normally. I'd love to coach them. Calfire did a live stream in May bragging about how equipped, ready they are for the season, and they had politicians standing by, and they gave homage to Newsom and all that. So I went into the live stream hoping that they had a whole lot more aircraft and a whole lot more nighttime flying helicopters. And sure enough, they were like, and Mike wasn't there. I figured to kind of show him. I just want to see the helicopters and stuff. So it was just a, press release to the public thing, and their live stream failed, and their audio dropped, and then their video dropped, and I was kind of tongue-in-cheek, half serious, in the chat. I said, do you guys want some streaming tips? I'll help you with that. But it was depressing. I mean, the Calfire budget had only been increased like 4% or 6%. I was hoping they had a lot more converted Hercules and other things. They said now we have 4 or 6 total. Like 4 were only 4 Calfire nighttime helicopters. The others are like contractors like Colson Aviation. I'm like, 4? This has been in the work for 2 years and you have 4? Okay. And then they said, there are so many new Hercules, they're being converted. I'm like, oh yeah, at least we have that. They said, and they'll be ready by the end of 2024. What? I knew 2024 was going to be rough. Oh, Cynthia Ferry says, I'll check it out, let you know. The first one I had, the last generation, bought it. Oh, okay. It's rare to find somebody with the knowledge that's in your head that you can't make it up. Thank you. You could pat me on the head now with the new bird emote. It sets you apart from everybody else I've come across. Don't pay attention to keyboard b-holes and judges. Thank you. You got it, sister. You have a channel like with content. I'd love to promote you. Man, I'd love to have coffee with you too. 600 people dead, Trump says now. Is that the latest death toll? The hurricane? Because a new one's on the way. Let's look at it. Let's look at radar. Now, some of these fires are all already contained. Don't think the whole west is on fire. Some of them are quite small. It's just the icon size is the same. Eh. Something else was declared a hurricane down here as well. Which one? What's its name? What the hell is Praia? Is that a name? This one ain't the threat. This formed in the Gulf. Is that unusual? When does hurricane season end? Ow. I thought by October they were getting rarer. Then again, October is pretty dang warm in the south, and it's based on water temperature. I really wish I had better formal education, but I was priced out of it. I'm doing my best to educate myself. Okay. Deja vu. Deja vu. The heck? Oh, I clicked on an advertisement and now door hinges are for sale. On my other screen. I'm gonna close this. Hang on. This hurricane image is brought to you by Schlage, a maker of fine electronic and analog locks for your door. Residential knobs, guys. I can't wait to shop for those. That's the most exciting thing. Wait. Okay. Close that tab. Close that tab. Close that tab. Close that tab. Alright, I'll be doing this all night. Alright. So, red flags, when do they expire? Oh, that's excessive heat. Okay. Almost seen the difference anymore. Excessive heat. We got so lucky in the last couple of days. I hope our luck holds out. They need to put out the peak ASAP before Diablo winds of Santa Ana's hit. Any fire in the Sierras still active and not like 100% caged and buttoned up is a massive threat to anything downwind. A safety will come for Northern California first with the snows. Southern California remains vulnerable the whole freaking year. Like the Thomas Fire of January. Okay. Looking back, you don't have content for your channel yet. I'm hoping for next season. I'm still learning the streaming ropes. I do have some great mentors. I've been doing guest streaming to learn. Cool. Well, I'll go to your channel and sub. And people can do that to help get you your start. I mean, link ya. Oh, you're, oh, I can see you're in full. That's a cool thing. Calfire Fairy, awesome. Subscribed. I'm your 8th subscriber, and I'm happy to be. Okay, friends. Go ahead, if you would subscribe to Cynthia Fire Fairy. How many subs do you have to have now to go live on YouTube? I would suggest putting a couple of regular videos up, no matter what they are, just so that you have some. It helps the algorithm. I'm learning about the algorithm too. It's more complicated and depressing than I ever thought. I think you have to have 15 or 50, or you have to have views. So if you get your family and friends, anybody else involved, and say, please view this video, I don't think length matters. Even if it's 15 seconds of an airplane doing a drop overhead, then view count matters, and you'll start working your way in. So yeah, the link is in the description, friends. Go to Cynthia Fire Fairy and subscribe. And I'll do the ringing bell, so when you do post something, we'll know about it. Cool. Alrighty. What kind of content do you want to post? And then we're going to bed. Oh, I'm sorry. I had the radar up. This is why I need to fix my desk. I just closed it down. I just opened it. Alright, see, I'm tired. I'm sorry. Ahem. Go here and subscribe like so. When I had more of a cockpit before things exploded, I had 3 monitors. I wouldn't have to look directly over my shoulder to even see what I am broadcasting. Drunk Rock says there is no Fires 1K. You could use some sleep too. There is no Fires 1K. Definitely some sleep. Alright, friends. I hope you've enjoyed some sneak peek of what members can see maybe 24 hours or whatever ahead of the general public. But long-term supporters, we want to find a way to get you subbed or memberized. Alright, friends. Let's do one last look at the peaceful existence of the Dutch fire. Okay, not that. Not full 12 hours because it was rotating. Oh, there was even open flame on the early frames. Didn't realize. Like, wow. I wonder how it started. Look at the power line. But then again, isn't this a little road? And there's a reservoir. Could be somebody going to recreate. But deja vu about the mosquito fire that started because of PG&E power lines next to a reservoir. Auburn is probably twitching. Oh, Drunk Rock says people said there is no fire in Northern California. What people said that? I mean, what kind of folk would say that? Okay. Yeah, look at that. Green shop. Look how quickly aircraft was there. First frame aircraft is at 1557. First frame of a fire being noticed by a camera is 1538. Time, you know. What's that? 3 o'clock. Your people? Okay. We pushed it down 1/4 of an acre, my people. Okay, okay. I have no idea what you're talking about, but sounds good. Alright, play the rest. And it's good night, Gracie. We were so lucky that the wind wasn't just 10 miles an hour fiercer, otherwise chunks of Clear Lake would be missing. This would have been out of control, and the peak fire probably would have taken out the ski resort by now. Incredible luck. And that's all our heroes need, is nature giving them the ability to succeed. If weather is impossible, then it's impossible. But when it is possible, they pull miracles. I'm very impressed with how they save things. The same goes with the line fire. If October 1st had been windier, the headlines could be drastically different. Cynthia Fire Fairy 42 says, I've helped 4 other people get monetized recently. Thanks for the subs. I don't know about live streaming to last February. I'm a newbie. What platform? StreamYards, Streamlabs, OBS? What are you using to stream? I can tell you everything you need to know about OBS and Streamlabs. StreamYards looked a bit primitive. But yeah, just out of curiosity, I'm having some issues with Streamlabs. If you don't subscribe for at least $16 a month, you don't have a lot of special features, and so $16 a month sucked in the off season. This is our current view. Rewind. I'm gonna have some Tillamook cheese curds. That was cool that C-Pro brought them back for me. Oh god, look at the dead trees. Man, somebody said there's a lot of dead trees up here. They weren't kidding. That's terrifying. I remember being this ignorant, being a kid or even an adult, just not understanding that is like seeing a bunch of oil drums on the landscape. Ready to go. Lightning that strikes a living tree almost never sets it on fire. It's got too much water in the trunk. It's alive. It usually shatters. And the lightning is very hot, but it's so brief that it can't really boil the sap off to start a fire. And when trees lean on power lines, they start getting high voltage electrocuted, and the tree will resist igniting, but it'll start to smoke for a bit because the sap will reach a boiling point, and then bad things will happen. But you've got a limited amount of time to hit the stop button if you can on power lines, like if they detect the surging. The same is not said for a dead tree. Whoosh. Lightning strikes a dead tree, it's almost guaranteed to light it on fire unless it's wet, a wet storm. No. Let's see a couple of highlight frames. I think I captured that one. All right. And what a rough 2024. 24 is my lucky number, so I thought it would be a great year for me and us. God. Then again, I thought 2020 would end. It never really did. There's the 7. No, it's an MD-87. The Mad Dog was here? That's an MD-87. Awesome. The orange fish. That's not a 737. The engines are back by the tail. I'd recognize her anywhere. Rad. And there's big Schnook. It's a Schnook helicopter. Did you guys see that earlier? Watch Duty said there's a Schnook helicopter on the scene for the peak fire. Spelled like so. Schnook. BLM land over there. Oh god. What do you mean nothing's over there? A fire hazard is over there. But but that explains it, why it's so neglected. When I went to Caldor and El Dorado National Forest, near some of the first homes to be affected when it first came out of the gorge up onto the plateau and then raced for Grizzly Flats, there were a couple of homes and cabins in the way. So one of the homes was left, it couldn't be saved, on the same property because it was indefensible because of a greenhouse attached to the structure. And so the greenhouse was a glass wall that seemed like a great kind of way to let light into it. It was a metal building, but the heat shattered the glass. So it was like a giant barn door to open that was indefensible. So not the fire's fault. There was an actual fire shelter, tissue. There's an actual fire shelter, half buried, mostly buried, a container, a shipping container. So the fire crews prepped the log cabin next door, wetted it down, and retreated to the fire shelter and came out and made sure the log cabin was okay. Well, the nearby, I kept seeing these giant heaps of dead logs, just big old dead trees, huge burn piles, or maybe ready to be stacked on the logging trucks, up and down the main road. And I said, that's criminal. That is such a huge fire hazard. If that would be lit, it would just cast embers all over the place. And it's so close to the road, it might even block the road. Maybe the fire crews could get past it. Like, why haven't they cleaned this up? It's El Dorado National Forest, so it's Forest Service land. Why aren't they aren't they salvage logging or making you safe out here? I mean, it's been more than a year. And she goes, well, guess what? The giant log piles were there before the Caldor even started. And they were such a danger to blocking the road and spreading the fire that they went and babysat the wood piles. They had no choice, or the road access would be gone. Oh my God. I said, how long have they been there? She's like, years. More than 5 years. Holy crap. The rage against the feds and the tension, I'll call it, between the state agencies like Calfire versus versus the feds and their way of doing things is a lot like the Shia versus Sunni Muslim thing. Very different philosophies. Lots of tension. Sometimes outright hostility. Super depressing. There are two sets, even more, between Forest Service, BLM, state, local. All these different agencies can have different philosophies and strategies for fighting fires. Extremely different ones. And that's got to end. There just needs to be one. Hey, Mary, thank you so much for the parts. And thank you guys all for being here. I'm now more relaxed. Let's see if the goal updated. It hasn't, so tomorrow it will. We had the most amazing generosity today. Remember, hit the like button if you haven't yet. Subscribe with the ring bell if you ever want to find us again. It's hard to find us even if you look. So we had 166 members today. We had, gosh, how many new subs? Membership joins today. Jeffrey M. gifted 10. These are only notes I have. I don't have the notes for when I was doing the pizza party. We had 10 donated from May, 50 from Shirley, and Shirley also donated 250 towards a new desk. Well, YouTube takes 30%, but hey, I'll get a new desk with that. And then 5 more from Michael Jones and several other people that I couldn't write down when I had pizza on my hands. Wait, what's the total there? 166 plus 75. So and then a couple more of you guys joined. So 166 plus 75. 241. We probably have 246 members now. Awesome. So this'll jump. So the first goal, oh, I remember what I was going to show you guys. Let me make sure I don't accidentally show something I shouldn't. Prep that screen. The agreement, I don't know why I didn't understand it. I think I was just too ill. I'm sure I had COVID with the amount of confusion I had earlier in the year. Let's see. I had constant nosebleeds too. And they say that's one of the symptoms, actually. It's also one of the symptoms of taking Sudafed, so I couldn't tell. Earn. Like, agreements page. The legal agreements. That's what I'm looking for. Where did that go? Dashboard. Earn. Partnership program. I don't. If we get 10,000 subs, we can have a store. Wouldn't you want cool swag K logo shirts? I think you would. They'll say Hero Helper. 'Cause that's what we do. We help the heroes focus on their job. By informing the public. Now, when I find this stupid page, I have to find this for myself, so I might as well stay live for a moment. The, where the hell did they put it? Content dashboard, analytics, customization, settings, memberships. Where's the agreements? My legal agreements. Okay. Awesome. Content, Linux. Oh, this one's cool. Let me show you this page. We got 87,673 views in the last 28 days. We are up 72.9 thousand hours more than usual, or views than usual. Plus 552 subscribers, which is 999% more than the previous 28 days. Yeah, we're almost at our goal. Unfortunately, where it says estimated revenue here, that's going to be held for either 30 or 60 days by YouTube, because that's their policy. Oh, I can't wait to improve the stream with better gear. If I can buy a microphone, John Stoker's sound guy, and he lives in California, so I was hoping he would visit me, and that was the plan, and he could help me set up my sound gear. But it didn't work, so I'll take the laptop and the sound equipment to him. I need a lavalier mic system to interview people. And the one I did buy in 2022 sucks so bad. The Rode, such a scam. I went around filming a ghost town for you guys, commenting and interviewing people. I ran into a firefighter. I interviewed him in the town of Volcano, California. And I had no sound because the bars were bouncing and everything. But because one little button wasn't pressed, I didn't know that. So it looked like sound was perfect. It's totally without sound. Because I tried to set it up so that the little microphones would record to themselves, like the little lav mic. And they didn't even have an on button. Okay, let me find the agreement page. I thought it was on the Earn tab. People are like, $900 in 30 days. Yeah, but try to live on that, guys. I had to quit all my sources of income, most of them, to do this full time. Surviving by the other sources, too. That's actually, most streamers would be like, that's cute. Pathetic, but cute. I have a lot to learn, too, about how to trick the algorithm. I found out why some people weren't being notified when we went live. It's because we restarted too much. I think YouTube will not notify your people who have subscribed more than 3 times in a day. So sometimes I started a stream and it had a tech difficulty, so I restarted. One time a deaf person said, please turn on captioning. I had to restart to do that. And we went 12 hours and I restarted the stream to go live for the next 12 hours. But nobody heard about the last one. Overview the user agreement. Oh, finally, it's at the bottom in fine print. Okay. Review the user agreement. For supers. But it's not on the membership page. All right. Oh, the membership off. Levels, no, that's not the agreement. Oh, we'll figure it out tomorrow, because let's go to sleep. All right, then, friends, thank you for being here. When you get your merch store up, I'm in. Yeah. When you don't manage the land manages you. You know what, Cynthia? I'm just thinking of the song in my head with your comment. Money, 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 money. Money. Oh, I really had doubts that we could financially succeed. I said, man, if I don't break even, or at least things don't look up this year, it's done. The Daily Show is done, and maybe I'll go live in a super crisis, but I have to make a living. Here's what I've got to deal with every day. After the stream, your video cannot be monetized. Your video from September 9th, 2024, called Camera Burnover in Progress Airport Fire, cannot be monetized due to one or more copyright claims. What are my options? What the hell? The Fallout trailer. Those aren't copyrighted because it's a movie trailer. It's supposed to be distributed to the public. Video cannot be monetized because it's tracked by the copyright owner. On behalf of Amazon, LLC, Prime Video. What the hell? You're supposed to want as many people as possible to view your trailer. I don't have monetization, it means ads. But what I have to do is select an action. And I can trim out that segment. I don't want to, because it was cool. It was the nuclear bombs detonating over Orange County and San Bernardino County area, because the airport fire looked like similar to the nuclear bombs in the Fallout show. So I just played the trailer. God. So I have to trim the segment, dispute it, and say, hey, it's fair use. Why are you doing this to me? I have to write an essay, submit it, wait for their reply. And if they say, no, we're not going to allow this, then I have to edit it and do something according to their wishes, or have a copyright strike for not obeying their wishes. 3 strikes and you're kicked off of YouTube. Boom. For doing stupid crap like showing a trailer of a TV show. I could also erase the song with fancy AI editing, which is spooky, or replace the song. But it's not a song that is copyrighted, it's the entire trailer. So these options don't even make sense. Oh, they're grayed out, excuse me. So cut the segment out of my video or dispute it, which ruins my videos. And we have good times like that. It was eerie. I did before and after, like, look at the airport fire nuclear looking cloud, look at the Fallout trailer. This is what happens after every stream. I've got to just deal with this crap and other stuff. So now you know I have no free time. This is ridiculous. There should just be, if I suggested to YouTube, that in order to upload a trailer to YouTube, the studios should agree that no, we're not going to copyright flag anybody, because that's absolutely, it seems even illegal. Trailers are always fair use. But if I do the dispute, oftentimes if a human being looks at it, they're like, oh yeah, that's no big deal. Wildfire tracking, dude, do it. And I can tell when a bot responds. They're hard asses and they have streams looking for replies. Okay. But there are improvements to YouTube, but for the moment I'm pulling my hair out in frustration. Okay, friends. Thank you for being here tonight. Now tomorrow, I'm supposed to hang out with Ma. I have to drive to her place, which makes me scared, because I don't have a laptop yet. If she drove here, it'd be a little bit difficult for her. She's got a hard deadline and schedule. But I have to coordinate my California trip with her and my relatives. And just do various things. Help her make sure that she locks her credit if she's in data breach and all that. So, kind of wondering about when we could go live tomorrow. I don't think before 2 o'clock for sure. I was hoping to do another 7 o'clock party type thing. But I'll just have to wake up and see. Especially what the weather is like tomorrow. Alright friends, good night. I love you. Looks like we'll make this. If you can, hit the join button and become a member. If that does not work, just $2. YouTube matches with $10. If that doesn't work, I'm putting the link in the chat again right now, which should hopefully work. If it opens, it should be looking like so. Hit on iPhone and iPad, you don't see this button, but you'll see it like this. So anybody lurking or listening or later tuning in at the end, much obliged. $10 bonus for everybody who signs up on their own that's not a gift membership. Or up a cap at 2,000. So this could be 3 total except for the 30% cut of the actual memberships. But they don't take a cut as far as I could tell from the bonus offer. That's awesome. That's got my enthusiasm back, and you guys wanting it and helping. It super got me hyped. We can make it. Maybe this is just a hump we gotta get over. Easier on the other side, friends. Positivity. Positive attitude. Thank you for restoring my spirit the most. And helping others, included. You know what you do. I love you all. Please sleep. I'm gonna pass right out. I can breathe again. More than I could. Hopefully get some sleep. Good night, friends. And good luck. We'll see you at some point tomorrow. Probably not before 7 o'clock if all things go okay.